Like You was, I think, one of the hardest songs for me to write, but it was, and one of the most emotional ones to write. It's dedicated to all those who have suffered or died for the sake of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and even for those suffering even now. Since I became a believer when I was 19, I've read many books, many biographies, and lots of stories about people who in the past have literally given their lives for the sake of the gospel of Jesus. And I would just read those stories so many different times, many different books about these people, and it would challenge me so much, and it would inspire me. These people would inspire me. I think one of the things that I didn't understand living in the Western world is that idea that many people are suffering around the world, like I'm talking about today, are suffering for Jesus in ways that we can't even imagine. I realized that there was persecution, like severe persecution going on in different parts of the world, as I was living in a very kind of non-aggressive society towards believers. You know, I could share my faith and I wouldn't get beaten and I wouldn't get imprisoned. You know, I may get a few insults here and there, but I realized that it was nothing like my brothers and sisters around the world were experiencing or have experienced. And those stories would give me courage to keep being faithful to Jesus here in the West, even though I wasn't suffering necessarily persecution the way they were, but they inspired me so much. And in a way, I saw almost a different kind of Christianity, because I was reading the books about these people and I was amazed by their devotion. I was amazed by how sure they were of their faith, that they were willing to die, they were willing to be imprisoned, and I'm talking for years and years, you know. I'm talking about severe beatings. I'm talking about people who had to leave their children for the gospel of Jesus Christ. And some people would think that's ridiculous, whereas I would read it and I just saw that as so beautiful, that they loved Jesus so much, they believe in his cause so much, that they were willing to be that devoted, because they understood that this life wasn't just everything, that there would be one day no more suffering, no more pain, and that they understood that Jesus even said in his own word that those who believe in him will suffer, because this world doesn't understand who he is and won't understand oftentimes who we are as his followers. And when I wrote Like You, I was reading a book about a man in Romania, this was years ago, who had been imprisoned for his faith, and he was put in solitary confinement many feet underground for about 3 years. And the Lord spoke to him while he was in prison. While he was in solitary confinement, the Lord comforted him, and he wrote these different sermons. As he had nothing else to do, he just wrote these sermons and made it into a book later on when he got out. And he wrote about his experiences. He wrote about the intense and horrifying beatings that he would get, and how he never lost that faith and that love for Christ through it all. And so I read this book and I was just in tears and so inspired by this man's life, wanting to live a life not like him, but wanting to live a life where I knew that I was honoring God in all I was doing, wanting to live a life that was worthy of what Jesus Christ did for me, because Jesus Christ suffered an extremely painful, horrifying death so that he could be punished for my sins, so that I could be free. And so, to thank these people that have gone before and that are even suffering even now, I wanted to write this song to thank them, to just let them know that they've inspired me, that because of their stories, I want to live a life devoted to God. And even if I have to suffer, I know that God will give me the strength to love him the way that these people that I've read about have loved him and have stayed devoted to him. And I'm humbled by their lives. I'm challenged by their lives. And like them, I want to live a life worthy of the amazing sacrifice of Jesus Christ for my life, for all of our lives. And I hope that this song inspires you. And if you are one of those people that are suffering for Jesus Christ right now, you are in another country maybe, or you're in a family that is just attacking you because of your faith, take courage. And thank you for your example to all of us.